I've mentioned that I view code sort of like a fingerprint. Every programmer codes differently. We name our variables differently, we think differently, we design our algorithms in unique ways, and often there's more than one way to do something. In this video, I want to talk about string interpolation as an alternative to concatenation for output, or string.format. String interpolation has been around for a while in other languages, but it was introduced in Python recently in version 3.6. Let me demonstrate. I've created a simple program where the user enters two decimal values and we display the product of that in a concatenated string. Let me just run this. I'm going to enter a value of 5.125 or 5 1/8. And our second value will be 8.75. And I'm told that 5.125 multiplied by 8.75 is 44.84375. So we use string interpolation for the output. But perhaps your style is to use the comma list to create spaces in between items. And so we can add a different methodology here, concatenation by commas. And here we have the string value of A, and then have a literal string multiplied by, and string value of B, and another literal string of equals, and then string value of C. And here I did do a little concatenation here, because if I do a comma, it's going to put a space between the period and the value of C. Let me just run this. I'll do the same two values as I did before. And I get the same output. So two different ways of doing the same thing. Both of these really are concatenation in a sense. Certainly the second one uses a concatenation between C and the period, but it's another way of putting strings together. Let me come back to my code. Let's use another method, which is string.format, that I discussed in an earlier video. So here I'm using placeholders of 0, 1, and 2, which correspond to our format of A, B, and C. This is the string.format method. Again, let me run this. We'll use the same two values again, 5.125 and 8.75. And now I'm getting the same output in a third way of doing that. So I'm getting 44.84375 as the product of those two numbers. Let me introduce string interpolation as yet another methodology. With string interpolation, it's sort of like the string.format, except rather than doing the format method at the end with A, B, and C corresponding to the placeholders 0, 1, and 2, we can put our variable values straight into the placeholders. So rather than 0, 1, and 2, I have A, B, and C, but I have to remember to put this little F in front of my string. This is also referred to as an F string or a formatted string, as well as string interpolation. So that F is critical. If I don't put the F, I'm going to get literally my A, B, and C here rather than the values of A, B, and C. If I run this, here's my output. Exact same thing. I think string interpolation is a little bit cleaner and easier to read, but there's still times where I'll use string concatenation or string.format. Now, what if we wanted to format the value of C to 3 decimals? We can do that in all 4 of these methods. Taking those 4 different methods, but formatting C to 3 decimal places. So in the concatenation, we can use the format method and say the value of C is going to be formatted to and use a string of 0.3f. So it's a floating point with 3 decimals. For the comma method, I do the same thing. But then for the output method of using string.format, I am adding the formatting string to the placeholder. And I do the same thing, adding the formatting string to the placeholder for variable C in string interpolation. Let me run and demonstrate that. Here then are formatted decimals to 3 decimal places. So I'm getting 44.844 in all 4 of those methodologies. So again, I like string interpolation as an alternative to concatenation. It's a little bit cleaner. It's easier to read. I don't have to worry about missing spaces in concatenating strings, or forgetting a plus sign.
If you just jumped into this video and haven't seen the prior videos to this, I invite you to check out my Python playlist of videos. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos that I create, you can click my picture up in the top right and subscribe to the channel.